So the master bedroom part of this addition is going to have a flat ceiling with just regular ceiling joists and drywall or some kind of ceiling material. But outside of the master bedroom, there's going to be a wall just to the right of that window, and the rest of this little bit of new section and all this old section is going to be living room. So for that section, I'm going to expose the ceiling so you'll see the beams and you'll see the attic floor, which will be like probably 1x6 pine. In order to do that, I need to put beams across there instead of just 2x10 ceiling joists. And I priced like Douglas fir 4x10s and 3x10s pretty expensive, and delivery would probably be pretty expensive too. So I actually have some leftover 2x10s. I'm going to buy a few more of those and just make beams by gluing two of those together. So just to see how that would look, I did a little prototype. So that is two 2x10s glued together and planed. And if that had like a white stain or maybe a semi-transparent stain on it, I think it would look pretty much like a beam, cleaned up nicely. I want it kind of rustic so the knots and a few cracks are fine. So I'm now turning the prototype into the actual working model. So I've got two 2x10s that I cut using my joist pattern, and then I used pretty much a whole bottle of wood glue. Got 3/4 of this bottle of wood glue, and sandwiched them together, and then put every clamp I could find on it, including a couple of homemade clamps that I made out of some 8-inch screws. So that is all pretty well squeezed together. I might try to get a couple more of those cracks a little tighter. And when that's dry tomorrow, I'll just scrape that glue off and give it one more pass with the planer. I actually used my circular saw to trim the 2x10s before I glued them together. And these would be way too big for the table saw, so I used my circular saw with this crosscut, with this rip guide that I got for about 40 bucks, I think. And it worked pretty well. Saw just goes in there and you tighten it down with these screws, and that worked pretty nicely. So tomorrow I will give that a pass or two with the planer, give it a good sanding, and then that will go up here where that missing joist is, where that rafter is, that will be missing. And then I'll make probably about 5 more to fill this space. They don't have to be 24 inches on center since they're bigger, so I'll put them like maybe 30 or 36, something like that. And then I'll have like probably 2x6 tongue and groove flooring up in the attic that will be exposed. The only catch with doing it this way is you can't insulate the floor, but I really wanted to have a conditioned attic anyway, so I'm gonna put probably try to get R30 up in the roof between the rafters, and then I won't have to worry about insulating the floor. So that's the plan. See ya.